Thanks for joining St. George News at 8. I'm Scott Beadle. A small earthquake was reported Wednesday morning south of St. George. It was initially measured as a magnitude 3.6. Happened about 20 minutes before 9, around 8 miles south of St. George, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. In addition to St. George, residents in Bloomington, Bloomington Hills, Santa Clara, Ivins, Washington City, and Virgin, as well as Beaver Dam, Arizona, all reported feeling it. It was later downgraded to a magnitude 3.4. Iron County officials locate the body of a man missing since Sunday afternoon. Shaw Trent Phillipson was reported missing on Tuesday. The 22-year-old was last seen Sunday, though, when he reportedly sent some Snapchat messages to friends saying he was hiking in the mountains east of Cedar City. His vehicle was located near the walking trail on State Route 14. Phillipson's body was discovered around 9:30 this morning in a rugged area in the hills just east of Cedar City. Authorities say it appears he slipped and fell. However, detectives are still processing that scene. The Iron County Sheriff's Office, discovered 24 pounds of cocaine during a traffic stop on Interstate 15. Happened around 2 a.m. Tuesday near milepost 62. 34-year-old Jesus Ochoa Perez is behind bars and faces multiple felony charges for possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, as well as 2 traffic violations. The street value of that cocaine is estimated around $250,000. In the last 10 years, there has been an influx of drugs like meth and heroin, but authorities said they've recently begun to see more cocaine making its way through the I-15 pipeline. School district administrators and teachers from Iron and Washington counties, along with state representatives, parents, business owners, and citizens, all gathered at a public meeting Tuesday evening to discuss a proposed ballot initiative by the Our Schools Now group.
What this initiative is all about is making every teacher successful in the classroom. That's the biggest thing that we can do to improve education in this state.
It's an addiction. Now, I don't see people on any side of the aisle that want to see kids fail or that don't want to invest in our future. Where my criticism or critique comes into play is the manner in which they wish to do it.
Our district is struggling to hire and keep teachers. We're really faced with competing with other districts for a limited pool of candidates. So I really want to see the funds from this initiative be used in a way that brings those professionals into the classroom to support students.
Taxes aren't a positive thing for anybody to talk about. I would love it if the legislature would step up a little bit more, but I do agree they do a lot with the funding that they have already.
You judge a politician by what they've done, not what they pontificate. And when I look at the history of all the tax increases in Utah and locally for schools, they never work. They just come back the next election cycle and ask for more money.
The cost to the average family in Utah would be over $400 a year, about $35 or $36 a month. But it's money that's desperately needed in education in the state of Utah right now.
The fact Utah is the lowest paid per pupil and we're the 6th performing in the nation is a bad thing. In business or in any other aspect of life, that's awesome! And the argument that we need to spend money just because we're not spending enough is rather juvenile, and it's theft. It really is theft.
Utah's pretty famous for being able to stack them deep and teach them cheap, but that's not something to be proud of. We need to move on from that perspective.
A lot of Washington City residents are sounding off about a potential highway interchange, which they fear could exit in the middle of a residential downtown area. Residents shared their concerns for about 3 hours at a city council meeting. The potential interchange is meant to deal with congestion on Interstate 15 near exit 10. 2 spots that have been floated as possible locations for that interchange have been at 300 East and Main Street, neither of which had any support from downtown residents Tuesday night. A standing room only crowd expressed concerns about public safety, property values, or even losing a home to make room for that project. Donald Trump Jr. speaks publicly about his meeting with a Russian attorney last summer, and we're hearing more about it from the president and his nominee for FBI director. Emily Rao has that story from Washington.
I did not consider Director Mueller to be on a witch hunt.
That's President Trump's nominee for FBI Director Chris Wray at his confirmation hearing, speaking about the special counsel investigating the Trump campaign's possible collusion with Russia.
If I got a call from somebody saying the Russian government wants to help Lindsey Graham get reelected, they've got dirt on Lindsey Graham's opponent, should I take that meeting?
Well, Senator, I would think you'd want to consult with some good legal advisors before you did that.
Donald Trump Jr. now telling Fox News,
in retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently.
The interview coming the same day Don Jr. released the email chain, which shows he was told the Russian government wanted to help his father's campaign. The emails reveal how a Trump acquaintance said the Russian lawyer had incriminating evidence about Hillary Clinton, adding, quote, "This is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but it's part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump." Don Jr. responds, "If it's what you say, I love it." Some in Congress now asking to suspend the security clearance of President Trump's son-in-law and now senior White House advisor Jared Kushner, who was in that meeting.
We're going to pursue every lead we need to pursue, but that's up to the White House and the security agencies to determine that, not me.
The president tweeting his strong support for Don Jr. Tuesday morning, writing he was open, transparent, and innocent. This is the greatest witch hunt in political history. Sad.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by AWI Networks, smarter internet.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to you. Temperature reached 100 degrees once again today here in St. George. Our normal high 102, record high 111 for the date. Overnight lows into the 70s. To pick up a little bit of rain here late this afternoon into the evening. Picking up just a little bit of rain across parts of the area, and that will continue in the next couple of days. Did have a little rattle and roll here earlier this morning with an earthquake report just down to the south of St. George. Again, picking up that earthquake report about 3.4 on the scale. Did also see a little bit of a report also to the north and west too. That was in the minor category though, under 2 on the scale for our earthquake reports. But yeah, definitely seeing some earthquake rumblings going on across parts of southern Utah. Now here's a look at our radar and satellite, again showing some of the showers and thunderstorms still around the area. Seeing a little bit of activity up near Cedar City, a little more activity down in the Grand Canyon area as well. Not much here in St. George right now, but we'll keep at least that threat of a few showers and thunderstorms in the forecast here the next couple of days. For today, though, our high temperatures upper 80s to near 100 in most areas. 88 degrees Cedar City, 100 degrees here in St. George and Hurricane, 106 Las Vegas, and 100 degrees in Mesquite. Now tonight, upper 50s around Cedar City, otherwise mid 70s in most areas from St. George to Mesquite to Hurricane by tomorrow morning. And in Cedar City, we should get back close to 90 once again by the afternoon. Could be an isolated shower or thunderstorm around 2. Southwest winds around 10 miles per hour. And for St. George, yeah, 103 the high temperature for our Thursday. Partly to mostly sunny skies, at least a slight chance. We'll go with about 10% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm developing across southern Utah. Otherwise hot, dry, lots of sunshine in the forecast the next couple of days. And really going to keep that warm weather around as we get into the weekend as well. So you can see on the radar, or I should say on our surface map, a little bit of green on the map here through parts of Utah, over into parts of Nevada too, indicating where you could see a few isolated showers or thunderstorms developing. Now if you get underneath one of those, we'll see a little bit of cool down, but otherwise we're going to see temperatures stay in the triple digits across much of southern Utah. Here's a look at your highs for your Thursdays, near 90 in Cedar City. Looking at high temperature 93 in Enterprise and 93 also in Newcastle. Temperatures in the triple digits, 103 in St. George, 108 in Mesquite, and 103 in Hurricane for our Thursday. 7-day forecast for Cedar City. Temperatures do eventually get back into the mid-90s by the time we get to the weekend. Another chance for some showers or thunderstorms on Sunday, and then upper 80s return to the area by early next week. But for St. George and southern Utah, yeah, that threat of rain maybe by Sunday, but look at next week, could get back in the double digits. Hey, upper 90s Monday and Tuesday with another chance for some rain in the forecast on Tuesday of next week as well.
You know, that's not a big drop, but it's the psychological thing, just hitting double digits
It's that
again.
thing in your mind that says, hey, we're going to be in the upper 90s. Okay, it's going to make it feel a little bit cooler out there, that's for sure. But early next week, have a little bit of coolness coming back to our forecast.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll be right back. A small deer walked into a grocery store Monday in Wisconsin and seemed to be in search of beer. The automatic doors at the Festival Foods grocery welcomed him in, and he headed straight for the back of the store where the wine and spirits department happens to be. Surprised customers looked on in disbelief for a bit and eventually formed a line and ushered the deer out the back door.
He's thirsty.
I guess. Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.